Gilmore. I'm Anish Schropp. You can follow along on Twitter, hashtag College Football Live, and that's sort of where we begin. Last night on Twitter, a lot of speculation about what was going on with West Virginia and who was spreading leaks about head coach in waiting Dana Holgerson. Well, here's what we do know. The Charleston Daily Mail reporting the school is investigating these leaks. A little more than a week ago, the Herald-Dispatch cited anonymous sources that told the paper Holgerson's been involved in at least 3 and perhaps as many as 6 alcohol-related incidents. All this allegedly in the last 6 months. The school says the story contains blatant inaccuracies. Well, we now welcome in Mike Kazaza. He's the West Virginia beat writer for the Charleston Daily Mail. And Mike, what can you tell us about the source of these leaks?
Anish, I can tell you that source may be too restrictive. It may be more than one person right now. West Virginia has been looking into this for weeks and weeks because they were suspicious that a lot of these stories were obviously serving perhaps an agenda, and they have been careful to mention to me that they're not restricting it to one person. It could be anybody from the entire football staff, program, even associated entities to the athletic department, being fundraisers, people like that who are close to the program and have access to inside information, and maybe an ability to get in the right audience and tell some stories that West Virginia believes absolutely are not true.
West Virginia called some of those reported details blatant inaccuracies. Give us specifics. What is West Virginia disputing?
The main one is this reported rift between the athletic director, Oliver Luck, and the president, Jim Clements. A number of things have been said of Dana Holgerson and incidents he's alleged to have been involved in, and West Virginia believes that those are all fabricated, and not only that, but that somebody or some people have been spreading those stories and really trying to work against Dana and really compromise this transition, which is a delicate transition. But what really bothers West Virginia is that there were 2, what they say, blatant inaccuracies reported that the president had summoned the athletic director back in the Big East meetings early, and pretty much for the purpose to discipline or lecture him or what have you, because of Holgerson's behavior. West Virginia says that's not true, that the athletic director was due back from the Big East meetings early. He had booked a plane ticket weeks earlier, and then the president's office has told me and other people now that absolutely did not happen. There was no threatening of the athletic director's job by the president.
Now, also in all of this, Bill Stewart and his status, what is his contract situation, the head coach?
Back in November, he agreed that he was going to have to enter something where his expiration date was going to be coming soon, that he would only be the coach for so much longer. It would either be the end of this past regular season, or if the decision-makers thought it was appropriate, he could be brought back to aid Dana Holgerson in the transition for this season, and after which he would transition into what they call an alternate position of employment, basically another job at the university. He won all those Final 4 games of the regular season. They said, Bill, you can come back, and he deserved that. So he agreed to 1 more year. He signed a contract in December, but that is a term sheet. It is a living document. It is not the formal contract right now. That has been held up because of this process that West Virginia has entered into, a fact-finding thing. Who is telling these stories? Could it be Bill? Could it be someone that Bill has supervision over? It's as much about finding who it is as to who it is not at this point.
And once we get those details, I'm sure we can proceed forward. Mike Kazaza of the Charleston Daily Mail joining us here on College Football Live. All right, for more on this matter, we bring in our college football insider, Joe Schad. Joe, I know you've been working the phones with folks in West Virginia. Give us an idea of what the dynamic in Morgantown is like between Dana Holgerson and the head coach, Bill Stewart.
Very unhealthy at this point in time, Anish. Whenever you have that coach in waiting scenario like Florida State and Texas, it can be a little awkward at times. What Dana Holgerson was hoping and what the West Virginia folks were hoping is, hey, there's a defined timeline here. It's only 1 year and then we can all move forward. Let's work together. Well, in terms of working together, I'm told there has not been a lot of communication between the staff members. Remember, there's a built-in complication here, and that Dana Holgerson was able to bring in some of his own coaches, and Bill Stewart clearly has his group of coaches who have allegiance to Bill Stewart. Spoke to a very prominent West Virginia booster who said that this transition is about as messy as he could have imagined. He thinks that goes back to Oliver Luck's choice to bring back Bill Stewart, which has created this awkward dynamic described to me as an atmosphere of tension. That right now, Anish, is what they're dealing with in West Virginia.
All right, appreciate it, Joe. Dana Holgerson brought in to be the head coach in waiting. He comes with a track record of success, especially As an offensive guru, he took over an Oklahoma State offense, which was 61st in total offense. They led the nation in 2010. Holgerson's Houston offense is just as prolific. Quarterback Case Keenum led the nation in total offense in both 2008 and 2009. Rod, I know you had some time to spend with West Virginia. You covered their bowl game. To sort of spring off of what Joe said, why did they bring back Bill Stewart, knowing you would have this dynamic between head coach and coach in waiting?
Well, I got a chance to spend a lot of time with Oliver Luck and also with Bill Stewart during that bowl game, and it was very clear that everyone felt that Stewart had earned the right to stick around for another season if he so desired. And in the end, Stewart had to make a choice whether he wanted to come back or leave, and he felt he could do it. Now, Oliver Luck knew that there was a risk in this situation, but the saving grace that everyone believed was there was the loyalty by Bill Stewart, that he was loyal to West Virginia, loyal to the program, loyal to the state, and that he would be the glue that would hold everything together. And I felt at the time that this was a tough situation and that no coach in America could deal with it except for possibly one. This guy, Bill Stewart, because of his love for the university.
How do you feel overall about the whole idea of head coach in waiting?
Well, I'm not a fan. I think there's a problem with it. I personally don't believe that it's in the best interest of a university. Now, I know that they want to have this continuity and get the guy that they think is the right guy, but there are two issues for me. One, the cost to the university. Right off the bat, you've got to pay this guy that's the coach in waiting a higher amount of money, so you're expending some funds there. And then secondly, you're chilling your applicant pool for what may be a better fit out there for, who knows, a year, 2 year, 4 years. And there may be a better candidate, but you've chilled that and you're not creating that opportunity out there. So I'm not a fan of the coach in waiting scenario.
Certainly a delicate situation in Morgantown, and we will just continue to wait to see how this story evolves over the next days and coming weeks. More to do here on College Football.